Very special Friday morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome the champion of the world, Mr. Dricus du Plessis. Good morning, my Omat.
Goeiemorgen, good morning. I always thought the studio cheers were edited in. And now I see it's the real deal. They do it different here in Cape Town.
Only on special occasions.
And it's not 50,000 people in Canada, eh?
Well, I mean, it's maybe 20, 30 South Africans, so it doesn't matter.
That's right.
It sounds exactly the same as 50,000 Canadians.
And we've got this beautiful little intro for you. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, Dricus du Plessis.
Never in the UFC's rich history has it crowned a champion from South Africa. But on January 20th in Toronto, a contender bred in the nation's northern city of Pretoria will attempt to become the first.
The fighter that I am and the person that I am has been shaped by South African culture. We can do whatever we set our minds to.
For middleweight powerhouse Dricus du Plessis, the road to UFC glory began right at home.
He's fighting out of Silverton, Pretoria, Dricus du Plessis.
Naturally, he is so gifted, raw, strong, and just so hungry. Now du Plessis is going to take this back.
Submission. It's hard to get away from it. That's going to be it.
And seizing championship belts in multiple weight classes.
Doing the impossible, he's 23 years old, two-division champion.
And he is the best this country has ever seen.
The African continent has some talent and we are here to stay. And we can compete with anybody in the world, no matter where you're from.
The prodigy of Pretoria.
You have to wonder, where's the limit? Where's the ceiling for this kid?
Oh! Huge right hand!
South Africa is officially on the map now.
Want to be the first real African champ, trained, born, bred in Africa.
Look at this. Oh, he stunned him bad.
He's hurt bad.
Oh, an elbow leg kick.
Du Plessis got Whitaker in all kinds of
Whitaker's in a
trouble.
world of trouble.
Oh my
Big
goodness.
strikes
Whitaker
raining
turned
down
real
by the
bad.
South African. Whitaker covers up. Do you believe it? Dricus du Plessis stops over Whitaker inside 10 minutes.
The best middleweights on earth put words into action. As Dricus du Plessis
Du Plessis is an absolute tank of a man. Oh!
aims to seize the title from reigning king Sean Strickland.
And there's nothing that's going to stop him.
I think we're all feeling the tension of this title fight. Du Plessis loads up on a left hand. Body shots are both there, though. Good right hand for Du Plessis. Du Plessis drops down and lands a left hand. Right hand finding its mark in round 4. Oh, big right hand for Du Plessis. Du Plessis lands a right hand. Well, the forecast was for a war, and that is what they got.
Dricus du Plessis, man, you have no idea. I think South Africa was more excited for this than you actually were in the moment, brother. Well done, man.
Yeah, I was a little bit more nervous. It's great now that you know the result. It's like, the "and" doesn't feel like it's a minute long when you already know it says "and new." But when you're standing there and you know it's gonna be "and new" or "and still," the "and," I mean, it's not so much fun for me. It wasn't so much fun, I have to tell you. I've never prayed like that in my life.
Because you're listening for the "and."
Now, I mean, one
Still
judge is
or-
making this decision.
And new. And still, you've lost and new. It's you.
Yeah.
eh?
I mean, I'm like, come on. 1 point. The box already got us nervous with 1 point. Now I do exactly the same thing.
Well, we are putting it up there as big of a victory as the Springboks winning.
Yeah.
All right? We deserve another public holiday for you.
100%. And,
Dricus
I
Day.
mean, at the end of the day, it's a world title that's coming to South Africa. And
Yeah.
I mean, cheers to all the many more to come.
Now, look, it must have been a whirlwind since you touched down here. And I see that both your black eyes have gone.
Have healed.
That was
Yeah,
very
I can
quick.
walk normally again. Felt great. I mean, that's what a couple of days of holiday will do.
So-
we weren't supposed to go on holiday, but we touched down Thursday morning at 7 on the 25th. And obviously we had this amazing welcome at the airport. It was incredible, but we only got back to Pretoria, well, to my house at 4 in the afternoon.
Sure.
From a 28-hour flight.
Did you crowd surf all the way from Oatava to Pretoria?
it would have been faster, I was thinking. But I mean, we did some media, which is obviously amazing to see all the support. It was hard to keep my eyes open that flight, and I was a little bit under the weather. And I mean, I went to Jacobs Bay with a friend Dricus of mine. He has a place there, and we were supposed to stay 2 days, but ended up staying 4. I mean, there was no people there. It was just the beach, and I mean, I even healed faster. I mean, I didn't get up for 2 days. I just slept.
We thought you were going to stay in North America for a while and go to the Grammys and the Super Bowl because, you know, superstars get invites like that. Are there no invitations from Hollywood?
I would have to hear from Wayne, but the holiday was much more needed than any invite. I'm telling you that.
But now after that fight, that's the most beat up I've ever seen you.
100%.
Right? So what?
Like prior to my pro career, because I have 2 older brothers. But
So now, what? How did you feel straight after? Because I saw you limped off.
yeah, I mean, when I fight, I'm always limping after a fight because we're still kicking into each other's legs, kicking knees, elbows, whatever it may be. But this one specifically, 5 rounds like that, it takes its toll. You know, my face, I just swell up quite easily. So I didn't have any cuts or any stitches. My opponent, of course, he needed to get some stitches, and I'm just happy about that because, I mean, and we were fighting at 1 in the morning. In Canada time, because it's on the East Coast and they make us fight Vegas times just for the pay-per-views. So I was so tired. We left the building after the fight at 4 in the morning.
Sure.
After the media, and I just wanted to get home. But I started out. It was so funny. So I walk out of I can feel my feet are beat up from the kicks, and my face, obviously. If you can see your eyes through your eyes on the side, you know this is bad. That happened in the first round. I started seeing the top of my eye, and I knew this is not good. And yeah, by the time I saw myself in the mirror when we got back to the hotel, I went, jeez.
I look busted.
We were watching you in the press conference, and it was like, wow.
I see the photos of the press conference. I thought it was a sketch. I thought somebody enhanced it or something.
Like a caricature.
And I'm like, oh, no, you look rough.
But also, this
I-
is the photo that's going to be on every South African newspaper.
The guy
international
that tattooed my
publication.
face on his leg used that photo. He used a photo of me looking like that.
Because it did look a bit like a baboon's butt.
And when I was looking at the tattoo, I thought the tattoo looked amazing. Whoever did the tattoo, that was incredible.
Accurate.
But I'm like, did you have to go with that photo?
But now, because I said afterwards, I really hope that Dricus doesn't have facial recognition on his iPhone.
Because it won't work. It won't work. It won't
No,
work.
it would never work. Where's your girlfriend Vasti? I just want to bring her on here. Vasti, what does it look like? Good morning, Vasti. What does it feel like watching Dricus in there, and there you go, oh, there's another black guy.
Oh, there's blood.
They literally, 'cause you're a very good-looking man. Right?
Yes.
And then he's gone from a 10 round 1, he's now an 8 round 2, and he finished at a 1.
Yeah, I mean, she started looking for a new man after the fight.
No, Darren, at least he has a good personality.
No, backhanded compliments, I'll take it.
But you know what? That's what keeps you grounded, eh?
100%.
So listen, we've got some questions here. We've got a whole brilliant studio audience. The next generation, the Karate Kids of the Western Cape. So this young man's mom sent all his medals. I think he's got about 200 trophies and about 150 medals. What's your name, young man?
Ben Mostert.
Ben Mostert. Now you are karate for
Kickboxing, yeah.
kickboxing for South Africa.
Yes.
Okay. What's it like to meet Dricus?
Yo, it's exciting, very exciting, yeah.
Okay, do you have any questions for Dricus?
Oh, yeah. Was Robert Whittaker your toughest opponent besides for Strickland?
Actually, a lot of people would think so. Robert Whittaker, in my opinion, the way we fought that fight made it easier. He is an exceptional opponent in terms of how good he is. When I fought him, the first 10 seconds of the fight, I realized I was in here with the number 1 ranked middleweight in the world. Because he was that good, but physically, I was just much bigger than him. And the first punch he landed, the first punch I landed, the first encounter we had, you can feel how physical someone is. And I knew I was going to be able to get my way physically in terms of I was just bigger and stronger than him. Then you go with a guy like Derek Brunson, who is technically not that sound, but he was a guy that I could feel whenever we're going to be in a grappling or wrestling exchange, it's going to be a hard night because he's physically very strong. Where with Strickland, he didn't have the punch power, but he was quite strong. Not like abnormally strong like some guys, but he was quite strong. But in terms of skill, Robert Whittaker was definitely the best guy I've fought. But just in terms of our game plan versus his game plan, it was one of the easier fights relative to the situation that I've had. Just how the fight went, I felt great. I didn't take any punishment, and our game plan was just perfect for that specific fight. And that's why the fight seemed easier than it was. Whittaker is a much better fighter than it looked in that fight.
But you just dominated him from the beginning.
It was a dominating performance, and that has to go out to my coaches and team for the game plan they set up that we were going to use for that fight, because it worked perfectly. But then when you fight a guy like Strickland, with Whittaker you have to be a little bit more technical, but the physicality wins the fight. With a guy like Strickland, and for me as a South African and the way we do things, we saw that with our boys, that we are physical. So whenever it's going to be one of those physical battles, we are always welcoming it. And that's how I win most of my fights, with a physical advantage. When I fought Strickland, I knew he's a physical guy too. He wasn't scared to take punches. He wasn't scared to stand
and spar
and
with
that's
him.
That's what we saw. We saw that, and I mean, I wasn't surprised at all how the fight went. It went exactly the way we planned, and he did exactly what we thought he would. And I honestly thought by round 4 or 5 I can get him out of there, finish the fight. But you know, some guys are tougher than they look.
Yeah, because you saw those memes where Dricus du Plessis, number 1 in the world and only number 6 in Pound Town.
Jeez. Well, every town in South Africa is now calling it their town, where I'm number 6. Oh my gosh, I don't even have a world ranking anymore. In South Africa, I'm just like ranked average number 10. Let's go.
Outside Loftus, number 23. Okay, another young man. He's also got a Protea karate jacket. What's your name, young man?
Karen van der Berg.
And you do karate?
Yes, I do.
What belt are you at the moment?
I'm currently first Q brown belt.
First?
Q brown belt.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. And you want to be like Dricus one day?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, so you want to move to the UFC. Before you ask your question, young man, looking for a future at UFC for a kid now? Do you do karate? Do you do kickboxing? Do you do jits? What do you do?
So I started with judo when I was 5 years old, so very, very young. At the end of the day, and then I went over to kickboxing. My main style is kickboxing. I'm a world champion in K1 kickboxing, and that's how I went from amateur, and then I made the jump when I was directly after high school, because I wanted to make a career out of this, and that's how I became an MMA fighter. But it comes down to wrestling is, of course, probably the best base to have, because you have the option. And it's very physical, so you get used from a young age to work hard, and you know you're going to take some shots when you're wrestling.
Yeah.
So you're going to know if you're in for that or not.
Yeah.
Where kickboxing as well, the big problem is there's so many aspects to MMA now: the wrestling part, the grappling part, the jiu-jitsu part, the kicking, the punching. At the end of the day, I always tell people, just start with the martial arts, any form of martial arts. And I can't explain to people how important it is. Everybody's not going to be a pro fighter. In fact, less than 1% is going to be a pro fighter, not even talking about getting to the UFC.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the discipline, how this sport, not even MMA, just kickboxing, judo, all these things that I've done since I was a little kid, physically, mentally, and just for discipline, all that. It's something that's been a part of my life. It shaped me. It shaped me. It taught me hard work.
Yeah.
If you don't work hard, when it's competition time, you get your ass handed to you.
Yeah.
Then you realize, but I didn't train hard enough. I got tired because I wasn't fit enough.
Yeah.
From a very young age, and that. I mean, if you look at life, you don't work hard enough, life's gonna, beat you.
Get up
That's
at 5 o'clock in the morning. You got to go. You got to hit the road.
That's it. Because otherwise, I mean, if you don't study for a test, you're gonna fail the test. So at the end of the day, it's about preparation and being prepared for whatever situation you're gonna be in, and that's something that martial arts and sports in general
will teach you.
Will teach you always.
So, young man, what is your question?
I believe that you trained with one of our national coaches, Sensei Eugene. Is there any form of karate that helped you in the UFC fights or any form you use?
Yes, so Coach Eugene, I trained with them for the fight against Robert Whittaker and for the fight against Darren Till. So shout out to them, they are absolutely great. One thing we try and do, whenever you fight someone like Sean Strickland, you try to get people into your camp that can mimic that style.
Right.
So you get used to the way they move. You don't want to get in there for the fight for the first time and deal with someone that moves the way they move.
Yeah.
Because every style, you could see Robert Whittaker, he is from a karate background.
Okay.
So the way he moves his feet, the way he moves in and out, the speed, where his hands are when he punches. You can see I'm from a kickboxing style. My hands are a lot higher. Every style is a little bit different the way they approach the fight. So and Darren Till also has that karate stance. So we got in, and that's friends of friends and training partners. Being from South Africa, we have to make use of our whole country to make this one fight work. Where if you're training in America, living in America, one gym has 70 professionals on the mat at any stage. We have like 15 guys, professionals, and that's not even in my weight class necessarily.
Yeah.
So you have to get people from all over to make it work. And that's one of the challenges, but it's also one of the greatest things because everybody comes there. You have to work a little bit harder to get the experience in.
Yeah.
And so we got him to mimic Robert Whittaker and Darren Till just with the way they move. And I mean, that helped incredibly. It helped so much because especially in the beginning, the way the karate guys move and what we are used to seeing is different. The timing is off.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that helped me incredibly in those fights.
And Dricus, just I know we got to wrap with you now. Next fight, when, where, and who?
Right now, I don't have a date, to be honest. It's when I get back to Pretoria now, we're doing MRIs. We've done some scans, making sure brain health.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was the question? And all of those things. I mean, we have a long career ahead of us, and just in terms of making sure
pacing it out properly,
pacing and making sure. I mean, we just won a world title.
Yeah.
And obviously, this last year, I mean, it was fight after fight after fight after fight, and sometimes I was injured and having to take a fight, even this fight. But sometimes, when you get these opportunities, you don't know when they are coming again. So you have to, even though you're injured, you take the fight because it's a massive opportunity to step towards the belt.
Yeah.
Now we have the belt, so we don't have to take unnecessary risks.
Yeah.
We want the best fight for me, for South Africa, for the people. The fight that people want to see is obviously Israel Adesanya, and that's the fight that I want.
Yeah.
That is the fight because that's going to be the biggest fight that the world wants to see right now. And other than that, I want to bring the UFC to South Africa. I want to use that's what
we are ready for you.
That's what needs to happen. So right now, that's legacy. If I have to wait it out for a couple of months, I'm willing to do that. Because fighting at a big event's one thing. Defending my belt, that's one thing, but it's been done before.
Yeah.
UFC on African soil, on home soil in South Africa has never been done. That's legacy. That's going to be remembered forever.
Yeah.
And
it's the rumble in the jungle.
That's what we want.
Dricus, you are a legend, my friend. You are the champion of the world. We've been following you every step of the way. Ladies and gentlemen, the champ is in the house. Dricus